Hybris, how they internally design for the, can you mute yourself? I'm getting echo.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. So we are completely go through the architecture of SAP Commerce Cloud. So SAP Hybris. So how they design their product. So what is the advantages of that product? So how? Yeah.
Nagesh, before you continue, I have a question here. Hello,
Yeah.
can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I have one question. Yesterday you told
Yeah.
SAP Hybris and you're saying SAP Commerce Cloud. So are these both the same or different terms?
Yeah. It's actually it is the same only. So while the part of the actually this Hybris is the term got changed. Actually, the cloud when they introduced cloud also as part of Hybris, some of the modules. So they introduced Commerce Cloud instead of Hybris. Actually, Hybris is not SAP word. So we'll like I'll get explain everything in this.
Okay.
Yeah. So the name got changed, but everything SAP Hybris and Hybris Cloud is SAP Commerce Cloud is both are the same.
Okay.
And we'll go through about SAP Commerce and about its later its versions we will discuss. After that we'll clearly discuss about the architectures. So after the architectures and also finally we'll discuss about the what are the certifications that are involved in the SAP Commerce Cloud. So this is about the agenda of this today's session. So going to start. This SAP Hybris is introduced in 2007. It is a German-based product, not SAP-based. So it is Hybris is a purely German-based company. So after that, later in 2013, SAP got acquired the SAP Hybris. So later versions they changed SAP Hybris. Now they completely removed the Hybris word in the newer versions. This is how it is came into picture. So at the time of earlier versions, they have only in the Hybris they have only two modules. One is a B2B and this is a B2C. So they have a limited functionalities. They have only a limited functionality, product information, search engine, and order management. Those are the few only limited functionalities involved there at the time of earlier versions. After SAP take over the Hybris, they have a huge range of changes they are incorporated. They completely changed the architecture of the Hybris, what is its earlier versions. So we'll slowly go through the each versions and all. This is SAP Hybris version 4 and all. At the time of it is part of in Hybris company. So 5 onwards, the SAP got took over. From 5, 6. So later they changed the version pattern. Also they have changed. Now we have seen 1905. This is the latest version. Okay. So in the 6th version, they have multiple versions, 6.12 till 7, they have multiple versions are there. So each version, they have changed the functionality and mainly they have changed the core functionalities. So the architecture entirely changed. So those architectures and all we'll going to see. So this is their versioning pattern. Initially, it is 0.656. Later, 6 is a major version. The 0.12 is the minor version. So those kind of pattern they followed. After SAP Commerce, they changed the pattern also. So pattern is this is the 19 is the year of the release. So the 05 is the month of the release, which month they released, and 01 is the release numbers. Suppose in the fifth month they released two releases. So then the naming convention will be 1905 is the month and 012 is the number of releases in that month they have released. So this is the internally this is the number pattern. So actually they called it as 19 is a major version in that year. The fifth month is a minor, and the 01, 02, those things are the patches. So you got it clear, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So this is how they have changed everything. So from the beginning to till the architecture layout, they made many changes. So those changes and architecture layer will in detail we will see now. So based on the Hybris is based on the flexibility and the modularity. Modularity means they have a loosely coupled. Any functionality you can incorporate it, and you can implement any you can incorporate newer functionality, and you can extend the existing functionality to the you can extend existing functionality and incorporate your business required changes. So it can do it easily. So all this already 50 per 60% as per the business strategies, they already implemented all the functionalities. So user management, for example, user management and order management, then business process wise, and the promotions, everything they already implemented. These they have studied the business perspectives and market strategies. They have already inbuilt all these functionalities, and they given it a packages kind of things. So they given like a packages. So uh, suppose if you see it's a B2B functionalities. So I will share my. So if you see, suppose this is a B2B or B2C functionalities. So they have already implemented like the commerce functionalities, the commerce function, commerce functionalities, commerce functionality, and also they given user management, user management, and cart functionality. They have already implemented all these functionalities, and they have interlinked each and one and one everything. So we no need to do this all the couplings and all. So whenever any new functionality, it is based on the business requirement, you just simply extend these functionalities, and you can build on top of your functionalities based on your business requirement functionalities. Business requirement functionalities you can implement easily. So you no need to write from scratch level to end level. So you can start already functionalities what is existing there. From the top of, you just extend that functionality you can implement. So how you going to implement it, what is the layers involved in, we're going to see now.
Nagesh, you mentioned some word about
So yeah,
platform. So
yeah,
can you give some more idea about what is platform?
yeah, platform, everything will explain. First of all, I'm explaining the terminologies and all. What are the terminologies and all? So then we'll go in depth with the platform and modules and
Okay.
because we are not understanding with the modules and packages, extensions, all these terminologies, then it will be very tough in the at the time of explaining the architecture. Okay, so in the they all these they divided into a modules. So already some modules they are already implemented, so we straight away use that modules. So on top of that we can extend our new features and all, incorporate, just inject your new features. So this is called an extension wise. So in the modules they kept in extensions. Extension is nothing but a group of functionalities. They called it an extension. So any extension, suppose business process extension. Suppose we have a business processes, business approval processes. Once an order is placed somewhere, we to approve this order we have some business sort of rules need to be approved. So this business approval is called one extension. So based on, if you want, if you your business requirement suits the Hybris business approval functionalities, you can straight away use that business approval extension. Otherwise you can extend that business approval extensions, then on top of that you can make your customizations. So this is extension and add-ons and all. We'll talk later sessions. So for the terminology wise, I'm explaining. So all these extensions, core functionalities is run on the top of a platform. The core platform, they build all these transactions and the core functionalities. They built it in the core platform layer. So by using this core platform, we can extend all these extensions will work. So without this core platform, any extensions won't work. So without extensions, platform will work, but without platform, extensions doesn't work. So platform is the backbone of all the backbone of SAP Commerce Cloud. So we will in depth we'll get into the details of the core platform details. So this platform and all, it is run on the JVM, our Java virtual machine. So or else either we should have a servlet container, or else the Spring framework, which is already provided all these containers and the JVMs. So we have these two to run the platform. Okay, so this platform internally connects with the backend database. So it will support n number of database, that is MySQL, Oracle, S4HANA. So all the database, it will support the current functionalities. The older versions of SAP Hybrid doesn't support these many databases. Only the plain MySQL and Oracle it will support. So later SAP Commerce Cloud introduced, though SAP supported ERP systems and all, those will get support. We can get integrated easily. So now we're coming to the actual architecture of the Hybris. So this is, are you able to see paint, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in this, these are the industry related domains. So B2B, B2C, telco, retailer, and financial. So B2B and B2C purely business to business and business to customer. This telco is related to telecom domains. The retail is S4 HANA DB. Suppose some data is in ERP systems and S4 data. So that data is to migrate to SAP Commerce. Then we go with the retail option. The financial services, financial related any implementation, then we'll go for the financial accelerators. Okay, right now in this course we'll concentrate on only these two, B2B and B2C. So in the B2B and B2C, all the other functionalities, what are the presentation, business logic, core platform, application server, database, these are the common for any accelerators. So how we, real time, how we get use all these, each layer, business logic, core platform, application server, database, we'll go through in this course. So coming to a presentation layer. Presentation layer is the end customer related information. Suppose our storefronts, look and feels, suppose Angular, suppose in our storefront like Angular and the back office, and the RESTful web services. So those are comes under the presentation layer. In the business logic layer, it will only involve the commerce and content management and product and order management systems. So these are the business logic layers. So in the business logic layer, they have some couple of APIs will be there. So these APIs, which is provided the Hybris commerce. So like if you see order management system, they have a couple of order management APIs. So we'll use the order management APIs, and we can do the customization, or other we can use the APIs, and we'll get connected with the core platform. In the core platform, what it will be there is all the persistency, caching, security, transactions, everything will be involved in the core platform layer. So it will supports to the core platform, which also supports to the clustering modules also. Okay, suppose we have a hybrid server, so we'll deploy it in the multiple nodes and connecting with the single database. All these things are involved in the core platform. This core platform, again, it will depending on the one persistency layer. In this picture, there is no persistency layer is given, but internally core platform core platform will depending on the one persistency layer. So that is called persistency layer. What it will do, so it will interact with all the Hybris data and given to the database. So this database, because of this persistency layer, it will support the multi-tenant system. That multi-tenant and a single tenant will explain in the next slides. So this all the persistency layers will support with the caching and clustering and transactions and all the cron jobs. It will get supported with by using the persistency layer. Okay, and the application servers. It's a Tomcat. Apache Tomcat is our currently Hybris suite will comes with a by default Apache Tomcat server. So it will also support Oracle WebLogic server. Okay, so it's a two servers. One is application server. One is a WebLogic where file supported things. It will get supported. We can use either of the Oracle WebLogic or Apache Tomcat. But when you install the Apache suite, it by default Apache Tomcat will get installed in your machine. So normally in the real time, most of the projects will run on the Apache Tomcat also. So the later layer is MySQL, database layers. So it will support MySQL, Oracle, SQL Server, SAP HANA, and HSQL. HSQL is the default one, which is when you install. So when you install, no need to install any specific DB. So in your local machine, it will directly one DB already will get installed along with your suite. That is HSQL DB. Hybris provided HSQL DB. This is okay, but in real time, we did not use with HSQL. Rather, we can use MySQL or MySQL Server, Oracle, and S4HANA. These are the real-time uses. So in this course, we'll get use of MySQL and as well as HSQL. So how to interact with by using these two DBs, we'll explain in this course at the time of practical implementations and all. So this is about architecture. Till now, have any questions?
Can you give some more information on telco and retail? I actually missed out in the middle. So can you just share some more idea on the telco and retail?
Telco means telecom accelerators like your Airtel, Vodafone is there, right? So they will load the plans and packages along with the offers, promotions, and all. So this telco is related to the telecom domain completely. Okay.
And what about the retail?
Retail means suppose the project which is already running in the S4 HANA S4 HANA DB ERP systems. So to interact with the systems and that data is to migrate to SAP Commerce. So that time they will use the retail. So telco and functionalities. It's recently introduced and as SAP 6.2 onwards they have introduced all these things actually.
Okay.
So any doubts in the architecture layer?
What is PIM? In the
PIM
business logic, it is
product
mentioned.
yeah, product information management this is. So PIM means product related prices, price related product related information, and each country level currencies will be different. Suppose multi-site will be there, right? Some websites they will run it in UK, that they will run it in US. So the dollar and currency entirely different, right? So that same product, when you open in the US, they will see the USD dollars. Then UK, the same product they will open in the UK, they'll show into the pounds. So how the information they will store as a currency and country based. So those product related information which will call the PIN.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other doubts?
No.
So now we will see the layered architectures. Layered architecture means how they design this layer wise. So this is purely a technical thing. So this till now we have seen the architecture layer. Architecture, each layer, what is the systems, what is the extensions, what is the functionalities, their packages are involved in each layer. Now how they divided the each layer and what are the things we'll get into uh, each layer, what we will do when the data is moved layer by layer, what it will how the data will be converted, those things we will see it in this layered architecture. So first layer they divided as the back office and web services. Back office and web services is a business people, and web services the exposed our services to outside world. Suppose whatever some projects they will use the Hybris as a backend. So the front end they will go for the Angular or some other Adobe layer front end they will use. So that time what they will do, so in the Hybris SAP Commerce Adobe, those things and not exist in the Hybris layer. So they will out completely outside of the storefront, everything run it in the outside. So at that time we need to expose our hybrid services as a web services. So those website that is called that is the reason they'll kept in the top layer, back office and web service. In the whatever in the newer version 19.05 onwards, they converted everything as the microservices. So right till now in the 1811 6.66 and all those are not microservices layer. We can't convert as a microservices. Instead they are provided to expose to the web services. We have another extension, OCC, Omni Commerce Channel. So by using that we can do it in older versions. By in the newer versions what they will do, they have given the Omni Commerce Channel along with all the extensions. They can they can convert it into microservices also. So you can incorporate Java microservices also in the each module in each extension. And the service layer framework, what is the business API service layer, what it will get, business APIs will be there, and business services and business validations and business layers models will be existed in the service layer. And the type layer will be the Hybris related type models. So all that type in the Hybris terminology, it is like a table. So all the database tables in the, it will exist in the type layer. And the persistency layer, what it will do, it will give the data, all the type layer models to the, it will store it in the database. So database is not a layer actually. So till now persistent, we have only 4 layers. Database, they will send the data from the top layer back office to the database by using all these middle layers. So we'll see those architecture of this layer thing. So layered architectures, they have. Hello? Yeah. Am I audible?
Yeah.
So in the layered architecture, how the data will be flow from the back office or web services to persistence layer. So in this business and infrastructure, all the business related APIs will be there. So what it will do, once the data comes from the front end, so this business and infrastructure layer invoke the APIs. They'll convert the data to particular POJOs. You already heard the POJOs and DTOs, right? They'll convert the DTOs. So based on that DTOs, they will validate as per the data is as per the business requirement or not. All the validations will be incorporated. If all the POJOs and converted DTOs are as per the business required data, then it will give to the hybrid service layer framework. In the service layer, what it will do, this just it convert into a models, and the model it is giving to the hybrid persistency systems. So these models will directly store it to the DB. So you understood right, this layered architecture, because while real-time implementations we need to follow this thumb rules, because we are not direct, we should not send the customer data directly to the business service layer. So in the business, before the business service layers, there is other service layers also there. That is facades and controllers. So those we'll discuss in the later sessions when we really implement, when we see the unzip the Hybris commerce suite, then you can easily identify those layers. So yeah,
Nagesh, can you give some more idea about what is persistence layer?
Persistency layer is what it is called. There is a framework called Hybris persistency layer, because so here what it will do, this is called not just a layer, it is called a framework. It is not actually transparent. If you unzip the suit, it is not transparent, but it will support convert the item models. So the customer information, front end data, it will convert it into models. That models it will persist it into the DB. Also it will support this layer is supports with the clustering. So in the real time we have to manage the transactions, right? Suppose one business order, or you place the order, so somewhere around in the payment gateway the transaction got declined. So what it will go, the entire customer given data has to be revert back, right? So all the transactions and the clustering and cron jobs, everything will be done in the persistency layer. So this persistency layer framework is very important at the time of in the real time. It's a multi-tenant system. If you want to connect to the multiple databases, so the single tenant, so at that time, hybrid persistency system will very helpful. Are clear? Any doubts?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. These layers of this persistency framework, right? What it will actually hybrid person importance. It will support the modes of operations, single node and cluster node and multi-tenant. Single node means yeah, single node means we have a one hybrid system, one hybrid system, and we have a only one, and we have a one DB. One database server. This is called. So we have a one hybrid system. It is deployed in the one node, one Unix box or one Azure servers, and it is interacting with a single DB. This is a single node, so there is no multiple nodes involved in this. So clustering nodes, how it will be? So there is a hybrid system deployed in the multiple nodes, and we have a only one single DB which is interacting with all the nodes. So this is one hybrid, and this is one hybrid, and this is one hybrid system, and it is deployed in node 1, and this is deployed in node 2, this is deployed in node 3. So all these three nodes hybrid systems is interacting with the single DB. This is all the cluster nodes. Okay, you're clear, right? In the real time, we follow this. In the real time, we follow this module. Okay, single system, hybrid system. It is depend on the customer requirement. Suppose in some B2B unit, their organization with expansion is very little, then they will go with the one Unix box and one DB. But most of the projects, they will follow this cluster nodes only. They will go with the cluster nodes, because there is no downtime. They will, while deployment also, how they will do, they'll down the node by node. First they will do the deployment in the node 1, then they will down the node 2, and they will deploy it in node 2, then they will deploy it in node 3. So like this way they will follow. So all these caching techniques and all we'll see in the administrative part. We have a hack, the separate section. In that we will discuss clearly all these steps. Okay, and now finally we'll see with the multi-tenant system. This is very important thing in the hybrid multi-tenant mode. Multi-tenant mode, how this architecture will be? So this architecture will be tenant 1, tenant 2, tenant 3. What is tenant 1, tenant 2, tenant 3? Tenant 1 is the set of, suppose this tenant have required a set of data. So tenant 1 is use this set of data which is which is involved in the database. So tenant 1 always interacting with the tenant 1 database set of data. Tenant 2 always interacting with the tenant 2 DB. Tenant 3 always interacting with the tenant 3 DB. So this kind of thing where it will use in the real time. Suppose, so for the huge projects and all, they will give the release by release every 2 weeks to 2 weeks they will release. So and every when they release every 2 weeks, so they no need to test each and everything right from the scratch. So what they will do, they will put it in the test data will be in the tenant one. So when they deploy, at the time of deployment, so what they will do, they will connect with this tenant one DB. They will do the all the JUnits. They will run the all the JUnits. So while running the JUnits, that JUnits will only interacting with the tenant one. You got it right. This multi-tenant platform. So due to this, what will happen? This will reduce the impact on the database. So huge number traffic also we can reduce, and huge you can latency also very less when interacting when the customer interacting with the DB, fetching the data, storing the DB, storing the data into the DB. The latency will be the very low. So if you use a huge data, if you use a single tenant, so it will get problems. But in the real time, what they will do, the database memory, database size also very huge. So they will do all those things in the persistency layer itself. Okay, Love, you have any doubts for this?
What is meant by tenant?
Tenant is like kind of user. Suppose explain, right? Assume that this is a kind of set of user to run the data to test purpose. Suppose your project is you already implemented entire projects. You want to you want to run the all the J units to in this project. So for the J units, you need a test data, right? So where this test data, you are not always directly save it to the DB. So this test data, no one should not use. Okay, so what they will do, you will create as a tenant. Tenant means it's a separate set of user. This scope, this tenant is kind of a scope. This scope is only limited to this JUnit's purpose. So all the whenever you enable the JUnit, so JUnit will fetch the data from the tenant one. So because like this configuration is not complex, this multi-tenant system you can up by using the single property. This is the way they have designed. So if you want to multiple tenants, suppose tenant 1, tenant 5 you want, you just in the property file you just mention that how many tenants that you need. So like this